So here we are on a fall morning, getting ready to do some wall building. This is our yard. Really come a long way since when we first moved here. It was full of junk. Cleaned it out. Got some nice grass growing now. Got some raspberries over here on the side. And some nice butternut squash just past that, which grew for free out of our compost pile, which is cool. Anyway, this is the section I'm going to be working on today. We want to build a retaining wall over there and get a little bit of height to that section of the yard and level it out. Eventually I want to fix the back part as well, going up to the fence, and make a separate wall up there. Maybe two walls actually, depends on how things go when I start looking at it. But first and foremost, I want to build a retaining wall over here, kind of at this level, like going all the way over there, and bring it up to the level just underneath that wood pile over there. And I want to actually leave out a section here for a ramp, where we're gonna be able to go up with and down with a wheelbarrow, and we're gonna make like a little sit down area, a little fire pit and stuff over here. So that's the plan. And today it's probably going to just be cleaning this out, and maybe I'm going to stake it out, put a line so I know what's straight, and then I'm going to start digging the trench, tamp it down, and then I'll start using some of the rocks that I've got piled up over here. You can see back here, and I'm going to start using those to build a short retaining wall over here, probably about 2 feet, maybe not even on some sections, because I'm going to leave it a little shorter on this end. The idea being that I don't want to raise the level too much close to the house. We already have problems with water retention in the wall getting wet and what have you. So yeah, I just want to keep it a little lower here, make it a little bit taller over here. That's the idea. There used to be an old stair here, which was then later covered with dirt and everything, and then it's since been excavated. But I'm probably going to put the wall actually in front of this section, and then break that apart and backfill that. So that's the idea. Hopefully it's not too windy. Yep, and that'll be our little project for today. Okay, so a couple hours of work, and I've got a rough trench dug out with my straight line. Tried to get it as close as I could to straight, but not overly worried about it, because it is going to be just a dry stack rock wall. It doesn't matter if it's a perfect line or not. Anyway, I think it's coming out pretty good so far. I'm not going to put anything underneath it, so I've really just kind of tried to get to the point of the soil where it's kind of pretty solid, and tamped it down with my feet. Looks pretty good to me. We'll see when I start stacking the stones how well it'll kind of hold and not shift. I've also dug out the kind of rough ramp that I imagine here. I'm going to probably have to stop pretty soon because it's starting to rain on me. I've separated my soil into two piles, so I got the good dirt over here and the topsoil, and this is more like the filler dirt. You can see a bunch of stuff that's still left in there. I think that's also why I don't have to dig very deep, because it's common practice around here to dump all your building rubble in the backyard. Luckily this stuff is really old, mostly like tiles and stuff like that aren't really toxic, or they will eventually just break down back into dirt. So anyway, that's the progress so far, and next I'm going to start laying out the stones for the bottom, and then we'll work our way from there. So yeah, looks like I got some rain coming in. Not sure how much longer I'll leave it to stick around here, but maybe I'll come back after lunch if it stops raining. Here, I just wanted to show how I'm backfilling behind the rock that I want to put in first. Make sure that it's level and that there's a solid base underneath. So I'm using some of the kind of broken, crumbly pieces and smashing them up a bit. And then I'm going to flip this back and stand it back. Okay, so I'm back. I've got the first rock standing here. You can see that it's wedged in pretty good. I've backfilled it with a bunch of broken rock and rubble, which I'm actually using from here for the most part, which is an old stair, or an old set of steps, which I don't actually even want, and I'm going to end up with a bunch more rubble from over here in this little area, so I can use those to backfill and level and all that kind of stuff. You can also see that I've tried, at least if I hold the phone straight, to get a backwards angle on the stone. For every foot of rise, you're supposed to theoretically have an inch of lean in, as far as the information I've seen anyway. I will have to admit that this is my first actual wall building project, so we'll see how it comes out. And then it'll of course be interesting to see how it holds up, which is probably the most important thing, so we'll see. Time will tell. But we'll keep moving along. I'll keep using these rocks that I got up here, and we'll keep trucking in the rain here, see how long I can go. So I'm making some continued progress. I've lucked out, the rain has stopped as well, which is nice. And place some more stones, just getting more backfill, trying to sort out which ones should go where. I want some pretty hefty stones, kind of every meter or so, roughly. I know I've got a gap here. I'm going to put something big kind of over there, but yeah, it's coming along. I don't want to use all the big ones at the bottom, because I think it would be really nice to have some for capstones or the ones that go in at the top, but I did try to get some pretty beefy ones in here, because this section of wall probably won't be very tall. Places like that's probably going to just be enough. I'm not really going to worry about that, because I'm not going to raise the height of this area anymore, so that's pretty much going to be the height. I mean, all it has to be is stable for that. There's not really a whole lot of pressure pushing it this way, so I think I'm going to definitely be backfilling here, and that will kind of level this place out. Obviously the gravel is going to be moved at some point, but over here I definitely want a little bit of a bigger wall, because there's going to be more soil here, and I potentially will be putting more topsoil here. I hope to be growing stuff up here as well, and eventually working that top wall. So there may be quite a bit more material to hold back here. So we'll see, but I don't want to use up all my big rocks. I found that one over there, which is going to be nice. I think I'm going to save that for like a capstone over here somewhere, because I think that one looks really nice and it's pretty flat. So I think maybe just build up some smaller stuff here and then put it on the top there. I think it'll look nice between the two trees. So yeah, that's how it's going so far, and keep working. Okay, back again after a short lunch break. Want to show the progress here. Got a few more stones placed in, packed in a lot more stuff, trying to see how this top piece would go on as a capstone. I need to kind of fill out some more space back there though. I'm trying to be careful, but it's proving difficult to avoid seams on top of seams. So I know one thing that people always tell you not to do is to put like one seam on top of another. So like here, I got this little skinny thing, I've got that trying to cover it, but not really succeeding too well. It is very stable though, so I think I might leave it the way it is and just fill out the back. But yeah, you're supposed to avoid those kinds of things where you have like one seam and then almost right next to it another seam. It would be much better if that was a wider piece somehow and goes farther across. But I don't know. I mean, it's proving pretty stable, and that's a really big piece. I don't think it's going to go anywhere, so we'll see if I can reshuffle some things though and make it a little better. Another thing that people always tell you is that every meter or so you want to have like a tie piece that goes all the way to the back. So even if you have big pieces like this, you don't want just the whole thing being like this where you've filled behind it. You want like a tie piece. I think they're called tie-ins that go all the way to the back. So I'm going to try and get something else here that will go all the way across too. I mean, here it's not so important because it's not so tall. There really probably won't be anything above these. I may put in some little thing going across the top of that just to hold this in place really, but it's pretty stable. I just have to fill some stuff back there, and then of course I'm going to fill behind it, so that'll stabilize everything. And I mean, already I can see a few things that I've done wrong, but hopefully not so wrong that it'll cause any issues. This piece right here, this rock, is definitely coming out a little bit. I think it's going to still be okay, but time will tell. I'll try and avoid those kinds in the future. So anyway, that's where we are at. Take another section, try to put some more pieces in, and then we'll see what's going on. Okay, so I've decided to rework a little bit of this section here. That piece was really leaning out. I did not like how it was looking, and as I mentioned, the seam over seam kind of thing was bothering me as well, so I tried to fix it. I think I did a reasonable job. It is hard to line everything up when you don't exactly have flat stones or really too much equipment to shape the stones, but I think it's okay now. It's definitely a lot more stable, and I don't expect this wall to stand for 100 years, but if it can't stand a day, that's not a good thing. So I think it's going to be a lot better now. I've got some more stuff in. There's a few things I'm still kind of working out. I'm not sure if that's going to stay there, but it's coming along. So far so good. The progress is decent. I am getting a bit tired, but yeah, it's possible that I might finish this tomorrow. I don't think today is possible, but who knows? We'll see. It's nice and sunny now. The rain has gone away. Just wanted to quickly show that I was kind of running into trouble. Some of the pieces were sliding off the back because there was not enough material here. So I started backfilling a little bit behind this row right here. I didn't want the stuff to be falling that way, and obviously I'm trying to make the angle be, so that the wall is leaning that way. If there's nothing there to lean against, it's being a little bit difficult. So that's why I started filling that up a little bit. I'm going to bring some more back from the wheelbarrow as well, and then I'm going to fill a little bit more back here. Hopefully finish out this little section to here, and then we'll see. Alright, finishing up for the day. Made some decent progress. There's about, a little less than half left. I finished taking apart the steps over there. I've backfilled with the kind of the lower quality dirt. I saved all the topsoil for after, so I'll fill that up later. But as you can see, the steps are now gone. It's mostly level. Learned a couple things though. It's really hard to stack the big rocks together, and I got a big mess right here because I tried to get too many big rocks kind of together. So I'm gonna have to take that apart and do something else tomorrow. I'll try and figure it out, but I think the lesson is that it's good to have like stuff like that, where you got a big one, some smaller ones, and then some decent sized one at the top. But yeah, I'll fix that. It's not too big of a deal, and making pretty good progress. I think I was getting a little sloppy here, and there's a lot of spaces, which is not as good, but it's pretty solid. I mean, I was just walking around on top of it and getting the dirt settled, so I don't think it's going to be a problem, but I'll definitely reshuffle those tomorrow. Hopefully finish the rest, and then move the topsoil from over there back over here, and yeah, that's it.